What's going on, everybody? It's Ryan from Standing Tall After Divorce, where I help you stand up, gain your confidence, your self-esteem, and become the person you want to be after divorce. Thanks so much for being with us. Today, we continue our series about the stages of grief. You can check out that entire series right above at this link. In this video, we're going to be talking about anger. Now, anger, it's an easy one to spot, but typically this is one that's bounced back to when you've gone through other stages. So like we talked about in a previous video about denial, it's like a buffer zone, right? And this, as you watch the slow motion tape, anger, you're going to attach an emotion to what has occurred, right? They did that wrong. I can't believe they did that. And all those emotions of anger, it's their fault. And we're pointing all of our fingers at that individual, right? And we saw that they were the reason why the wreck occurred. And all these, as we watch this tape replay the accident, we then can point and say, it was you and I'm mad at you, or I'm mad at what you did, or whatever. Then this anger is really, really helpful because it's a signal, right? It's taking the temperature of the room. It's not necessarily negative. In fact, I see it often as a very positive emotion because it's signaling something else. It's saying, wow, that you have an emotion to something that has occurred that you need to do something with. And it's beautiful. It's a good thing. So how do you navigate anger? Because often anger is like this ping pong ball, and like scenarios will make us angry. But then often too, we will be angry with ourselves for the things we said or didn't say. And as you're navigating this divorce, it's really easy to jump back into conversations while you're processing this anger, which makes it way worse. So part of learning how to effectively live in that anger phase is to process it, like figure out a way to process it. For me, how that's worked is I like to journal it. So I have an emotion attached to that accident, right? It could be catastrophic, multiple accidents, but over the period of a 10-year marriage that then ended in divorce, there's lots of like moments and memories. Let's say I have a specific moment. What I like to do is sit and feel that emotion. I'm angry. Here's why I'm angry. And I dive as deep as I possibly can in thought first. And then what I really love to do is sit down and journal that emotion. I mean, all out, all the words, all the things, right? No one's reading this. It's just me reading it. And what I like to do is I like to just capture it in that way because it allows me to get the emotions out without getting in an argument with my ex or getting in an argument with someone else or projecting my anger towards someone else. It allows me to process it, to feel it, to say, okay, I see you. I see where you're at. I see how you're hurting. I see that affected you. And then it gives me the understanding of why. And so it allows me to step back from the angry position and not make it a negative thing, so to speak. And then what I like to do second is after journaling that, I like to go on a walk. And I know it's different, but what I like to do is I like to go on a walk and listen to like some calming music, because what will happen is my mind will rehearse what I've just gone through. So I've thought about it. I've sat down and thought about why I'm angry. I've processed it. And then now my mind is going to try to figure out a solution because I'm doing basically therapy. I was in this therapy session. It was this basically week-long therapy, very intensive. And the therapist that I was working with would always take me on walks while we talked about the things that we needed to talk about. And I asked her why she did that. And she talked about the importance of this bilateral stimulation, that each step is allowing me to do things where my brain can connect to both sides. It's allowing my brain to actually heal itself because I'm exerting physical fitness. So in this process of healing for me in this angry phase, I think about it, I sit down, I think about it, I feel that emotion all the way out. I process it in writing format so I can see it, I can read it, I can understand it. And then I jump into bilateral stimulation where my brain again now is going from the emotional side of the brain to the logical side, and it's making these healing connections as I walk. If I haven't fully processed it, let's say I get back, I'm exhausted, right? Most of the time, if I've done those 3 steps, what it does is it forces me to actually rest. My body's tired, my brain's tired, I've burned a lot of calories and I'm tired. So I will go straight to bed because my body needs a reset. But in the process of going to bed, if it hasn't been processed, I will basically say to myself, tonight as you sleep, I want you to process this, right? I'm speaking to myself, my brain, whatever. What happens is usually I dream about it and I process it, and there's more processing to be done. And if I'm still angry about that, I'll do the whole thing again. Because what it will do is it will push me to actually gain, again, understanding why I can't even figure out how to process it or how to get to a healthier spot with it. And then I'm bilateral stimulating again, which is the walking process. So with this being said, you don't have to do those 3 things. But for me, I've found that anger is a really healthy signal for me. I see the car crash, right? I'm now willing to process it. I pinpoint the anger. I sit in it. I write about it. I walk, and then I dream, right? So there's that kind of stair-stepped approach to I have to take action to actually get what I'm desiring. So if that's helpful to you, try it. But you need a process. I will say this, you need a process to work through that anger. You don't want to just be throwing that anger out all over the place. So with people that can't understand it, with people that can't handle it, you'll end up getting in worse situations because you haven't thoroughly felt it and then done something with it. And so that can be where anger goes off the rails when it's not catered to, when it's not worked out in a process that actually will get you to a positive place versus staying in that negative space. So if this is helpful to you, if you'll do me a favor and hit that like button and or subscribe to the channel at any point during this journey. If you need anything, if you want to share your story, if you want to ask questions, of course you can use the comment section or you can email me, standtallafterdivorce@gmail.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.